Hey everyone, welcome back to Yusuf Reacts. In today's video, we're diving into the action-packed world of No Time to Die, the 25th James Bond film and Daniel Craig's swan song as 007. If you haven't seen it yet, don't worry, we'll keep it spoiler-free in the beginning. But stick around for a deep dive into the plot and themes later on. Directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga, No Time to Die was a highly anticipated release. Delayed multiple times due to the pandemic, but it finally made its way to theaters in 2021. This movie marks the end of Daniel Craig's incredible 15-year run as the iconic British spy, a role he first took on with Casino Royale back in 2006. Without giving too much away, the story picks up 5 years after the events of Spectre. James Bond is living a quiet life in Jamaica, enjoying retirement. But as we know, peace and quiet don't last long for a spy. Bond is drawn back into the action when a new, high-tech villain named Safin, played by Rami Malek, threatens global security with a deadly bioweapon. One of the strongest aspects of No Time to Die is its stellar cast. Daniel Craig, of course, gives his final performance as Bond, and you can really feel the emotional depth he brings to the character. Bond is older, more vulnerable, and struggling with his past choices. It's a fitting way to end his journey. Rami Malek plays Safin, the mysterious villain, and while his performance is chilling, some fans felt his character was underdeveloped. But I will say his presence is undeniably unsettling and adds to the film's tension. Then we have Lee Seydoux returning as Madeleine Swan, Bond's love interest from Spectre. She brings emotional weight to the story, especially in her scenes with Craig's Bond. And, of course, Lashana Lynch as Nomi, a fellow MI6 agent who's introduced as the new 007, really shines in her role. Of course, no Bond film would be complete without thrilling action sequences, and No Time to Die doesn't disappoint. From car chases in the streets of Italy to intense shootouts and nail-biting moments, the film keeps you on the edge of your seat. The stunt work and cinematography are top-notch, and you can really tell that a lot of effort went into creating these high-energy moments. But what sets No Time to Die apart is its emotional depth. This is a Bond film that isn't just about the action, it's about Bond confronting his past, his vulnerabilities, and his relationships. The film delves into his legacy, his regrets, and his ultimate sacrifice. It's a departure from the more superficial Bond stories of the past and adds a layer of emotional complexity that really hits home. James Bond has left active service. His piece is short-lived when Felix Leiter, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. Bond has left active service and is enjoying a tranquil life in Jamaica. His piece is short-lived when his old friend Felix Leiter from the CIA turns up asking for help. The mission to rescue a kidnapped scientist turns out to be far more treacherous than expected, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. A young Madeleine Swan lost to a psychotherapist, daughter of Mr. White, and Bond's love interest who assisted him in his mission in the film Spectre, witnesses the murder of her mother Matilda Bourbon by terrorist lead cipher Safin Rami Malek, a terrorist on a revenge mission against Spectre who later becomes Bond's adversary in a failed attempt to murder her father Mr. White. Safin claims that White killed his family. Madeleine shoots Safin, but he survives. She flees onto a nearby frozen lake and falls through the ice, but he rescues her. In the present, after the capture of her in Stavro Blofeld, Christoph Waltz Bond's archenemy and foster brother. He is the founder and head of the criminal syndicate Spectre, and is now in MI6 custody. Madeleine is in Matera with James Bond Daniel Craig. Spectre assassins ambush Bond when he visits Vesperlin's tomb. Though Bond and Madeleine escape the assassins, one of the assassins tells him that Madeleine is the daughter of Spectre. Madeleine also gets a call from Blofeld commending her on her sacrifice while she was in the care with Bond. Trying to escape, He believes she has betrayed him and forces her to board a train out of Matera, ending their relationship. 5 years later, the MI6 scientist Voldo Burchev David Dinsit is kidnapped by Spectre. He got a call from Safin just before his kidnapping and told him to transfer the research files into a pen drive. The Spectre team is led by the same assassin Primo Dali Ben Sala who attacked Bond. He makes Voldo steal a vial before kidnapping him. With M's Ralph Fiennes' approval, Burchev had developed Project Heracles, a bioweapon containing nanobots that infect like a virus upon touch and are coded to an individual's DNA, rendering it lethal to the target and their relatives but harmless to others. Bond has retired to Jamaica, where he is contacted by Felix Leiter Jeffrey Wright and his CIA colleague Logan Ash Billy Magnuson, who asks for Bond's help finding Burchev. They say Burchev is in Cuba and that Spectre is gathering there, which cannot be a coincidence. Bond initially declines, but after Naomi Lashana Lynch, a new oil agent who entered active service some time after Bond's retirement, and was assigned the 007 number, an MI6 agent and his successor as 007, tells him about Project Heracles. Bond is furious at M for some reason for keeping Burchev on MI6 payroll and agrees to help Felix. Turns out M had sanctioned the development of Heracles off the MI6 books. Not even the British PM knew about its existence. Bond goes to Cuba and meets Paloma de Armas, a CIA agent working with Leiter. They infiltrate a Spectre meeting to retrieve Burchev. Still imprisoned in Belmarsh, Blofeld uses a disembodied bionic eye to view the meeting and release a nanobot mist to kill Bond. But it kills all the Spectre members instead, as Burchev had reprogrammed the nanobots to infect them on Safin's orders. Bond captures Burchev and renders Valses with Leiter and Ash, who is discovered as a double agent working for Safin. Ash kills Leiter and escapes with Burchev. Bond returns to MI6 HQ and meets him. Bond wants a meeting with Blofeld. Bond insults him, who flatly refuses to arrange a meeting with Blofeld. Eve Moneypenny Naomi Harris M's secretary and Bond's a lie. And Q Ben Whishaw meets Six's quartermaster who outfits Zillow agents with equipment for use in the field. Arrange a meeting between Bond and Blofeld to find Burchev. Q looks at the USB Bond recovered from Burchev and tells Bond that the files are a database of DNA info of millions of people from around the world. Using this database and the weapon, the holder of the weapon can eliminate their targets with precision. But Burchev modified the coding to eliminate anyone related to the target, so entire families are wiped out. It is now a weapon of mass destruction. Safin coerces Madeline. He approaches her as her new psychotherapist patient and reveals that he was the man who saved her from drowning in the ice all those years ago, to infect herself with a nanobot dose to kill Blofeld, with whom she has been in contact since his imprisonment. Blofeld has been pretending to be mad, and Madeline was appointed as his doctor. Safin indicates that he knows about Madeline's daughter and threatens her. To get Madeline to do his bidding, Bond is furious to learn that Blofeld has access to Madeline. When Bond encounters Madeline at Blofeld's prison cell, he touches her and unknowingly infects himself with nanobots before she leaves. Blofeld tells Bond that he staged the ambush at Vesper's tomb to make it appear as if Madeline had betrayed him, continuing his vendetta against his former foster brother. Enraged, Bond attacks Blofeld, unintentionally allowing the nanobots to infect and kill him. Bond tracks Madeline to her childhood home in Norway and learns she has a 5-year-old daughter, Matilda Lisadora Sonnet, whom Madeline claims is not his. Madeline tells him that her father murdered Safin's family on Blofeld's orders. She tells Bond that Safin's family owned an island that was taken over by Spectre, and now Safin has it back. Q determines that the island is in disputed waters between Japan and Russia and has a chemical plant dating back to WW2. Having avenged his family by killing Blofeld and destroying Spectre, Safin and his entourage are in pursuit of Bond, Madeline, and Matilda. Though Bond defeats the thugs and kills Ash, Safin captures Madeline and Matilda. Q enables Bond and Nomi to infiltrate Safin's headquarters on an island missile base. Converted to a nanobot factory, Worobruchev is mass-producing the Heracles technology for Safin to kill millions of people. Madeline is separated from Matilda. Bond and Nomi put explosives all around Obruchev's lab. When Bond is threatened by Safin to surrender, else he will hurt Matilda. Bond has no option but to surrender and literally bow before Safin for the sake of Matilda, whom he knows is his daughter. But Bond launches a counterattack when Safin is distracted and forces Safin to retreat with Matilda. During the ensuing gunfight, Nomi kills Obruchev by pushing him into a nanobot vat. Madeline escapes from captivity, while Safin releases Matilda to die in the explosions about to set off by Bond and Nomi. Madeline finds Matilda purely by chance. Nomi takes Madeline and Matilda away from the island to safety. Bond stays to open the island's blast-resistant silo doors. He calls in a missile strike from HMS Dragon to destroy the factory, then kills Safin's men. Safin ambushes and wins Bond by shooting him. He fights Bond, infecting him with a vial containing nanobots programmed to kill Madeline and Matilda. Bond kills Safin and opens the silos. Bond contacts Madeline by radio to say goodbye and tell her he loves her. Madeline confirms that Matilda is his daughter. Missiles hit the island, destroying the factory and killing Bond. At MI6, M, Moneypenny, Nomi, Q, and Bill Tanner, Rory Kinnear, and Chief of Staff drink to Bond's memory. As Madeline takes Matilda to Matera, she tells her about her father, James Bond. So, how does No Time to Die stack up against the other Bond films? It's definitely a fitting and emotional conclusion to Daniel Craig's era. While the pacing is slower than some might expect, the film ties up all the loose ends in a way that feels earned. The action, the performances, and the heartfelt moments all come together to create a memorable send-off. Well, that's all I have for today's review of No Time to Die. What did you think of the movie? Let me know in the comments below. Was it a satisfying end to Daniel Craig's Bond, or did you expect something different? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and ring the bell so you don't miss any future reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.